streaming. Let's just see, and then we'll get the guys on again. 1, 2. Right, well, you can hear me, Matthew, which is a good start.
Yep.
As before. Go on to your own live stream now, if you don't mind, and see. Let us see, will this come on?
There we go. 1 second.
Let us see, will this come on?
There's still a little bit of static there, but I think that's the fan. I'm not quite sure.
Let us see, will this come on?
There's still a little bit of static there, but I think that's the fan. I'm not quite sure. There's still a little bit of static there, but I think there seems to be a loop. I think that's the fan.
Okay, you lower your volume on your end on that other. People are saying that it's much better now. Mike, I'm going to do a couple of tests here. Okay, Jack says it's much better. Mike also. I just want to see, can they hear your video? So Jack, given as you've been there, that's better, but Matthew is really bad. Okay, so Jack, you can hear my audio through my microphone. That's good. Matthew, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, he's a bit loud. Try that again.
1, 2, 3.
And one more time.
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Jack, did that sound okay from Matthew's point of view? That's okay. All right. Now I'm going to put on his video. Can you hear that video coming through? Okay, Jack, can you hear the video also? A little, all right. Yes, but he's very quiet. Yes, but low. How about now? How about now? Needs more volume. Let's try that again. That's me. Sorry, that's me. No. Okay, just louder. Okay, Matthew, speak. Matthew? Oh,
sorry, I had my microphone on mute. My bad. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, Jack, can you hear everything now? Matthew is fine video, but video is too low. The video output is probably this one. Agree with Jack, no video is very low.
And this looks gorgeous, look at it. So
what about now?
Let's see how it looks from the bottom.
I'm just trying to make sure that, okay, so Mike and Jack, what about the video? Yes, yes, yes. Hooray! Hooray!
Finally, we're there.
Señor de Los Angeles. Okay. All right, let's pause this. Boom to that. Skype interview is both of us. Okay, folks, can we all agree now that you can hear us without any static? Everything is fixed. Mike, thank you. I feel like, you know, when you call up customer support in one of these complicated IT companies and the guy solves it, that's how I feel right now, Matthew. Okay, so let's start the interview. What I might do after this is actually take this live one down and edit it a little bit. But those of you who are joining us live will have the joy of seeing the unedited version of our first interview with a fellow droner who is relatively new to the scene, I imagine, Matthew, and we'll get right into that. So first of all, I would like to welcome all of those who are watching right now and all of those who'll watch afterwards, because it doesn't suit everyone. But Matthew, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that you took the time last week to let us review your channel, and now you're agreeing to chat in person. So why don't you just take a moment to fill us in a little bit on the basics about yourself for those who are watching who don't know anything about you?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Matthew Way. I'm 25 and come from Stoke-on-Trent, which is in Staffordshire in the United Kingdom. I've started watching a lot of YouTube earlier this year and subscribe, you know, to the big names that you know and love, the Casey Neistats and them type of people of the world, and started noticing that drone videos slowly started to take off. And then I found yourself after that point, and it's like, right, I need to get myself one of them. So there was a camera exhibition at the NEC in Birmingham in March. So I visited that, saw DJI, and saw them flying the different drones and the video quality, and I was like, all right, let's go for it. So I purchased it. I was thinking, you know, if it doesn't quite work out, these things have pretty good resale value, so I could always sell it, maybe lose, I don't know, 100, 200 pounds, something like that. But I could sell it again and I'd be all right. I thought it's low risk to do something like this.
Okay.
So I started it. My parents have a caravan in North Wales. I went down there, just started flying it, got the video footage, put it together on iMovie.
Yeah.
Really, really simple, really free software, but it's very powerful. It gets you from 0 to an intermediate level very quickly. So I started doing that, put that video together, and I thought, you know what, let's put this on YouTube, let's see what people think. And that was in March. So my first drone video went up in March, and it's now September. So it's about 6 months I've been doing this. Yeah.
Well, what do you have a day job?
I work at Bentley Motors in Crewe, the vehicle place. So,
well, excuse me.
It's all right.
So you spend all your day. Are you in sales?
No, I'm in engineering, so design.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
So fill us in a little bit. So you get into work in the morning, and what you start putting cars into wind tunnels and trying to see if we can make them more aerodynamic or more comfortable, or what?
Yeah, our team work on the lighting. So we're looking into the future of automotive lighting and what that actually means, especially with autonomous vehicles coming in the future. It's how do lights play a part of that? Because if you're not driving the car, you don't need headlamps anymore. So it's how can we make lighting act as a secondary function rather than a primary function? And this is something we're just looking into in the future and seeing what it's all about.
And do Bentley, so the only sort of self-driving cars that I'm aware of at the moment are the Tesla motors.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Do Bentley have any functionality yet in the area of self-driving?
They've got similar to what pretty much everyone else has, so the adaptive cruise control and the lane assist, that type of technology.
Okay.
But yeah, it's Tesla's made a really big ripple in the automotive industry, in my eyes, for the right reasons.
Yes.
I think they've got a really good ethos of how they're moving forward. So everybody that I'm aware of in the automotive industry in the UK is definitely looking into that into the future. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's pretty common knowledge. You can Google some articles on it and have a read on that a bit more. But it's going to be interesting times soon, definitely.
So, if we were to Google your job title as such, what would it, like when you went for the interview for this job?
Yeah.
What was it? Was it an engineering post?
Yeah, it was lighting engineer is the title of the job. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And was that a course that you studied then at university, or was it an in-house training program?
A bit of both, actually. I studied electronic engineering, and that's where my love of gadgets kind of sprouted from. So I started that when I was 16. At 18, I wanted to go to university, but that didn't really happen. I started work straight away. Started working in quality, and then moved to Bentley 2 years ago. And yeah, just had the opportunity to move internally, which is pretty rare, really. If you're stuck in one area, you tend to stay in that area. So it was a good opportunity to move departments, and I thought, why not? Why not give it a go?
Wow. Well, congratulations on that, folks.
Thank you.
We have a very interesting fellow here when it comes to job spec, and he's part of the droning community.
Win-win.
Yeah. So if we have any issue, does the light engineering then, does it reflect back then in the world of movie making? Would you be aware of things that might help improve your video?
So the optical systems and how the optics actually work and how light reflects and refracts on different materials, definitely. So when you're shooting into light, you kind of understand what the camera's trying to achieve with that, because a lot of cars these days have camera systems to assist the lighting, so it can see certain objects and detect certain things. So loosely, but yes, it does help.
Well, essentially, all photography is based on lighting and how light is perceived through the lens and through the frame as such. So ultimately, I'm sure that basis should be able to help.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So, do you read a lot? I mean, you're a 25-year-old man.
Yeah.
Is YouTube your source of the University of YouTube your main source of information now, or do you do a bit of reading on the side?
No, it's mainly YouTube. I'm that type of guy that when I was younger, I used to tear things apart and realize I can't really put it back together. As opposed to reading how something works, I was the person that took it apart to go, right, that's how it works. And just watching and learning on what other people do on YouTube is the best way that I'm learning.
Yeah.
So when watching, take Casey Neistat again, it's an example. When watching one of his videos, I'm kind of breaking it down in my head, going, right, this is the camera angle that he uses. He's using this to try and transition to something else and try to learn that way.
Yeah.
Peter McKinnon's another good example of that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And last year I met Casey Neistat at the Power Video Conference.
I saw that.
In Belfast, and that was one of my first videos that I put up on my personal channel. And this year I met Peter McKinnon at this year's Power of Video conference in Belfast.
Awesome.
He came along with Devon Supertramp, and Sonduras was there, and Philip Bloom, which is a very famous English photographer. And they really pushed the boat out there. So it's a fabulous event, and it's still relatively unknown. So the guys that are organising it put a lot of effort into it, and it's super easy then to get to meet them afterwards. So
yeah, definitely.
Really good from that point of view. Well,
Awesome.
I honestly think that one of my things at the moment is I really feel that there's an awful lot of YouTubers out there who have a couple of hundred subscribers, even less, and they actually have a lot of talent. And it just is so hard at the beginning to build up any type of momentum. I think we definitely are in a crowded marketplace. and it does take a lot of consistency and constancy. But even at that, I heard Casey saying in one of his videos, that is it Roman Atwood or one of these guys that has 10 million followers says, no, just keep uploading and keep uploading and keep uploading. But I have seen some guys that keep uploading, and they haven't grown. So I'm wondering, has that changed slightly?
Yeah, my opinion, I realised that I think I got to about the 15 video mark. I think I've got about 30 videos now on my channel. I got about 15 videos in, and I realised that the views were going down, the average views were going down. I was thinking, why is this? I've got some really good footage, some really good content out there. Why aren't people watching it? And I can remember, again, watching one of Casey's videos, and he said, nobody truly cares about your drone footage. And that hurt a little bit to hear that, as a true guy that enjoys droning. But I thought, okay, I'm going to take that, and what else can I bring to the game? So I was watching other people, and I thought, well, I want my channel to start to become an information-based channel. So recently, in about the past 10 videos, I'd say, probably less than that, I've started to add information on where I'm actually going, how I'm actually getting to the shot, where you can park, how you can get there, and just telling people general information about the place. And if they want to go and do it, they can. So not only do they get to see my footage, which is the bit I'm most interested in, it also gives them an opportunity to learn something new. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew, let's take a moment and go over to the chat just to make sure that everything's going swimmingly. I thought I heard someone say that the static was back, so I will just check that. Different. Yeah. Okay. Static is back, but not bad. It's still clear. Okay. There might be something there on my end that I might need to. I'm using a trial program at the moment, but we will keep going. Matthew, just going through some of the chat that has been happening. I'm going to read through a few of them. There is David Stoy, and thank you for joining us, David, and thank you for everyone who has joined us. I agree with David where he says that if you want people to watch your videos, you've got to try something different. No one really cares about boring drone footage. And I totally agree with him there. Now, yes, we hear Casey and we hear all the other big YouTubers saying it needs to be part of your overall story. Tell us the story. And that's what you did in your Porthwen Brickworks video. You told us a story, and that's why I believe it was a very good video to look at. And as David says, I mean, when I go out now to do drone footage, I'm trying to get a nice shot because we all have beautiful places where we live. But ultimately, I think that if we're drone channels as such, my comment to David would be, if you're a drone channel, you can get away with showing a lot more drone footage because people are there to see the footage, but they're also interested in how you've got to that footage. So perhaps the color correction, I'm doing a lot more of how the footage looked before I color corrected it and then the reveal shot. And I find that a lot of people have been interested in that. Oh, how did you do that? How did that come about? And then to tell a bit more of a story.
Yeah.
One of the things that I definitely don't like is just seeing people throwing up a bit of footage for 2 minutes with nada whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. No color correction, no music, no intro. I mean, it might be a beautiful lake, but as someone once told me, I was with a friend of mine who is a professional photographer, and I was like, why don't you put all your images up on Shutterstock? And you know what he turned around and told me? He said, I started to do it, and Shutterstock actually said, we have the perfect library of nature shots. We don't need any more.
Wow.
In other words, it's widely available.
Yeah. I do agree with you that YouTube is starting to become saturated with drone content and trying to stand out and be unique and all of that. is becoming increasingly difficult. But yeah, you're absolutely spot on. It's all about the story and wanting to be involved with that person, and that's the reason why the person will come back and watch more videos. You know, it's again, it's the reason why I'm subscribing to the people that I subscribe to. I like the background story as much as I like the footage.
Yes, and that's kind of the reason why I decided I would like to interview in this sort of format, to kind of get to know the people behind why they got into shooting drone footage, why they're interested in the theme in this crowded market, you know, and really to see what interests them, what makes them tick in that way. One of the things that I noticed was you seemed to be quite natural behind the camera from the first few moments. Have you had much experience that way, or is that just you starting off? And
that's just me starting off. It's probably a work thing, you know. I've got to do a lot of presentations, so I'm used to standing in front of a lot of people and openly speaking. So I think I kind of just switch into work mode whenever I'm recording. And again, it's just, what would I want to see if I'm watching that video? I don't want to see somebody, you know, really straight-faced. I want to see a bit of animation. I want to feel the emotion that them people are feeling. You know, so I'm uploading a video. I'm just working on it at the moment, which is coming on Friday. And during the intro section of it, it is raining. And it's raining pretty hard, you know. And you'll see I've still got my work shirt on, because I literally drove from work straight to there to get the shot. And it started raining, and it's that beautiful moment that you realise at that point, this is what we do. This is why we do it. You want to go out, you want to get that shot, regardless of what the weather's going to throw at you, regardless of all the other challenges, you still got to do it.
Yes.
And that's the emotion that I want to bring to all these videos.
Yeah, and especially I think in the UK and Ireland and all the northern countries as such, where rain and weather play a big part, it can't be an excuse to never get out. Yes, there's limitations to it, and yes, you gotta almost drop everything as soon as the Weather Channel tells you things are going to be okay. But that's also interesting. One of the things that when I say I'm working on it, I'm starting to look at videos at the moment where it shows winter, dark, fog, drone footage in foggy conditions, in darker conditions in winter, and even looking at some LUTs, lookup tables that will bring out that cold look, that Arctic look, because I think that's beautiful too.
Yeah.
And I would like in the winter to try and move towards presenting that to people, so that you can see, you can make that nice also.
Yeah, definitely. My dad's really into photography, and the South Stack video that I uploaded, he's been there hundreds of times. And he says every single time when he takes the photo there, it's completely different, because you're absolutely spot on. The weather in the UK and Ireland, and anyone on our kind of level in the world gets the same weather, and it's just every single time is different.
South Stack, is that a sea stack?
It's a lighthouse.
A lighthouse, okay. Funny, on Monday I went to, I thought to myself, well, in the summertime, inland's good, but in the wintertime I might actually do more coastal regions, because ultimately there's no trees, there's no leaves anyway around the rocky surfaces of cliff faces. So things like waterfalls and sea coast, I'm going to work a bit more on that during the winter time. And then places like where the drone nut is, who may be tuned in down in the parks of Tralee and Kerry and that sort of thing, should be good. Let's pop into the chat again. You may be able to see it on your phone, and I'll just bring it up here and see what people are saying. They're probably all talking among themselves, like sometimes happens. Okay, David is there. I hope now anyone who's not subscribed to Matthew's channel or mine, take advantage to do that. If you like what you're seeing, don't subscribe if you don't like this sort of thing, because there's going to be more of it. But if you do, please do. And I'm conscious that some of you will take advantage of the chat to get to know each other too. I'm just going to go through some of the questions and see is there anything else here that we've missed.
Drone Nut's got a good comment there saying about how to edit and how to improve. That was the biggest thing for me, is how to make something look good. You've got the best footage in the world, but how do you edit it and put it together? Like I said, I used iMovie for probably 50% of the videos that I've uploaded.
Yeah.
But it ran out of functionality for what I wanted to do. So I wanted a small little intro video, different transitions, and then for about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, I was having a look at loads of different YouTube videos of Premiere Pro versus Final Cut. The big debate in our world. And for me, it was Premiere Pro. Just because my dad uses Lightroom, and it's quite a similar, shall we say, software. So he was teaching me different things on there that I can bring into Premiere Pro. And I started to use that. But the way that I got better is just watching YouTube videos after YouTube video. And go, right, I've watched one video to say, okay, I want to use that effect in my next video. How then do I go about doing that? Have a look for a tutorial, go, great, learn something new, and just do it in baby steps. And what I try to do is something different in every single video. So the one that I've just uploaded, which was kind of more for cinematic, I've put some black bars in there and different transition effects. I just want to see how people react to that. Do people like it? Do people not like it? And then on this video coming up as well, I wanted to try and master the audio side of things, because I know that's not been very strong in previous videos. So I want to try and master something new every single time I'm uploading. And hopefully that's the way that I can get better on each video.
Yeah, and ultimately there's a certain amount of personal satisfaction with the learning curve from a personal point of view. I guess it's part of the condition of the human being, where when we do learn something new, there's an element of personal satisfaction in that.
Yeah.
And I know that I would like to spend more time actually studying the whole area of color correction, and when I do spend half an hour, 45 minutes, or even an hour at it, I just feel afterwards, yeah, I'm getting this.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. And now when I'm looking at, like today I was color correcting the sea. For that I actually had to go out and buy I had the ND filters, and I had a very light one, then I had a 4 and an 8. But I always noticed that when I was editing my footage, it definitely was still too bright. And I was definitely losing, and I mentioned it even in the channel review, I think, whenever we were looking at your footage. So I bit the bullet, and I bought the ND16 because I was aware that this would be important around the sea. And the footage has come out beautifully. Even before I start, I always shoot in Cine-like, based on the guys in Scotland. I don't know if you follow them. They're let me just get it up.
Yeah, sure. Let's take a look. Yeah,
for everyone to see. Drone video review. So this is the channel. If I go in here, I have to go in this way. Excuse me. I've got some DJI settings. These guys here. So, Drone Film Guide.
Vimeo changed my life.
Is the name of the channel.
Constant need to film.
Color profile.
Okay, you may not be able to see that, Matthew, but you'll be able to see it on your phone. The Drone Film Guide. These guys are based in Scotland, and this tutorial here, how to color grade DJI Mavic and drone footage like a pro, is very, very, it's in depth, but it's very good. And they have grown very quickly, and they've been very good, and I've got a lot of tips from them. So that's how I can always tell. It's probably wrong of me to say this, but that's how I can always tell the difference between someone who's just thrown up the footage and it just looks flat and blown out and very automatic settings as such to someone who has done a slight bit of color grading. And you can even as simple as adjusting it automatically on your software is enough for me to make the difference. So I find those guys really good when it comes to something a little bit more in depth for those people that are taking it to another level. I'll pop over to the chat to see what other people think about that, and if they have any ideas. Jay, nice to see you joining in. David, okay, unless you're using D-Log. Right, D-Log, David, I would recommend that you watch that video from the Drone Film Guide where he makes a very, very interesting argument between D-Log and D-Cinelike, which talks about the dynamic range. So very, very interesting video and well worth watching that. D-Log has been the favourite. A lot of it to do with the fact that that some of the other cameras shoot in D-Log automatically, like the Panasonic GH5 and some of the Canons and stuff. So for those who are trying to match up drone footage with the other cameras, it very much helps towards that. So if you shoot in D-Log, it leaves a ton of flexibility for color grading. Yes, David, agree with that, as also the D-Cinelike, which I use. Polarizing ND filters such as Polar Pro. Yeah, Thomas, that's a very good point. We'll just pop up here too. Okay.
I didn't realise that the whole colour grading thing existed for quite a while whilst I was doing these videos, and then I was like, how are people getting these amazing shots?
Yeah.
And the penny just dropped. I was like, oh, all right, okay. And again, started YouTubing, how do I do this, how do I do that? And I shoot in D-Log at the moment, and then colour correct, like I say, in Premiere Pro. But that's completely new to me. And every single week I'm trying to have a look at a new tutorial on, you know, how to correctly colour grade. But these guys that you've just recommended, the Drone Film Guide, I've not seen them before. So I'm definitely going to give them a watch.
Yes, they're very to the point, and they are professional commercial videographers also. And I've watched some of the stuff they've done for different guest houses and hotels, and I've liked it. I've made notes, and yeah, I like it. I like them a lot. As do I like an awful lot of the other channels that I watch, even those with less subscribers. I was going to mention something really interesting there about the color correction, but it's just gone. But hopefully it'll come back to me. The big thing I see David is saying, I mean, like sunny oversaturated beach footage. Yes, it's so easy for the beach footage to get way out of control. I think Jack O'Shea, who might still be here, he told me once when I was just starting my drone journey, because I'm not actually at it too long myself. I would say if I have the drone a year now, that's probably the height of it. And the very, very first time I took it out, I was on holidays up on the north coast in Northern Ireland, and I was with my wife and two kids, and had literally gone for something to eat, had 2 pints of beer, and I came out and I nearly dropped the thing. It nearly went into the water. I couldn't believe it. I have a video there. It's probably got about 10,000 views at the moment. It was absolutely ridiculous. If I had lost it that day, I may never even have been here now.
Close encounters, yeah. I've had a few of them myself.
In total, I've had 4 crashes in a year.
I've had one, touch wood, I've had one crash, and that was on day 2 of owning the drone, because I was just so eager to get it in the air, so eager to start taking footage. Didn't really know how to land it at that point, so I saw people grab them from underneath to try and capture it. I thought, great, yeah, do that, and then I accidentally knocked the controller. It went into a wall, and blades went everywhere, and yeah, I thought that was it. I thought that was game over, but no, it's a tough little cookie. It survived.
Yes, and that's what Jack told me way back at the beginning. He said, I think it was him that said to me, well, if you're around the beach or around that sort of thing, film away from the sun. because there's an awful lot of glare comes from the sun onto the sea, and it's got that very strong shine off it. And literally to avoid that, I suppose it depends what time of day you go out, but avoiding that on the sea and flying away from the sun avoids that. The only point I would make towards that, Jack, if it was you who told me that, was that sometimes then you get the shadow of the drone. And I don't like that. That makes the footage look very unprofessional, because when do you ever in a movie see the drone shadow?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that you have to be aware of there. But yeah, so,
you're spot on. You're torn between the two. I'm guilty on that. I know my drone shadow has been in a few different shots. But I really like the shot, so I've still put it in. I just hope that people didn't notice it from time to time.
Yeah.
So that's a little challenge if anyone wants to watch the older videos. See if you can see it.
I don't even want people to look at my older ones. No. So where did you say you said you went to NEC in Birmingham? Where exactly do you live?
So I live in Stoke-on-Trent. It's pretty much in the middle of the UK, in the Staffordshire area. So just north of Birmingham.
Okay.
It's about halfway between Birmingham and Manchester. If that makes sense.
Anyone famous from your town?
Yeah, the captain of the Titanic and Robbie Williams.
Oh, very good. Well, very good.
And Slash as well.
The guitarist from Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Is he from there?
Originally, yeah, born in, I think it was Burslem, if I can remember correctly, a small little section of Stoke. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sorry about the Titanic, because it was built in Belfast, so.
It was small link there.
Yeah. And yeah, Slash, very good, very famous guitarist. Definitely, I probably was one of the first albums I ever bought back in the day. Was Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses. So, but we'll not just go there tonight. But yeah, I have a brother who is a rock musician, and he has a record label in London.
Nice.
Tours around Europe and that sort of thing. But he started off with a tribute band to Guns N' Roses and AC/DC back in the day.
All right.
But he's hatching through now with his own music, and yeah, they would have played the Dollington. Is it Dollington Festival?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
one of these big rock festivals in England at the minute. So yeah,
That's
pretty
cool.
much.
Yeah.
So very good. Okay, let me see. I just want to make sure. I had a few questions I didn't want to miss. So you have the Mavic, yeah. Do you get out much with your work?
Bits and bobs. I used to. I first worked in quality, so I used to travel quite a lot in Europe, but I didn't own the drone at that point. It's quite. Oh, 1 second, my light seems to have gone off.
the light engineer.
I know, yeah. The irony of this.
Don't worry.
Give me 1 second. Switch that back on. Yeah, right. So yeah, like I say, I used to travel in Europe quite a lot, but I did that before I actually got the drone.
Okay.
So it was quite inconvenient that I moved to a job that doesn't involve as much travel, but I then got the drone. So exactly, yeah. So hopefully, if I go anywhere soon, I can take it with me. But I try to upload on a weekly basis, because I know one of the things that's quite key is informing the users when they should expect content and what content they expect to have at that point.
Yes.
So I like to say, uploading on a weekly basis, Fridays, 12 o'clock, 12 midday UK time, and I try to go out and maybe film 2 or 3 different videos in one day.
Yes.
And then I've got time to stagger them out and do the editing. Because, like you said, especially this time of the year, the weather's just starting to get terrible.
And
sorry,
go on. No, go on.
So last weekend I went to Scotland, and I've managed to visit 2 or 3 different places. So then that'll be the next couple of weeks of uploads, hopefully.
Tune in to the next thrilling episode.
Exactly.
Do you use the scheduling device? Sometimes I would schedule my episodes to make sure that I have, and then I can say, okay, well, I've got the next month covered. Now I can relax and try and learn a bit more of the color grading, etc., and go over the videos and so on.
Exactly, that's exactly what I do. So I had a holiday earlier in the year and made sure that the next 2 or 3 videos were scheduled to be in.
Yeah.
And it's also really weird because I'm actually at work at that 12 o'clock when it uploads, and I know one of the guys that I work with subscribed to me. So it's really funny because at 12 o'clock I just hear a buzz on his phone. It's like, yep, notifications out there, everything's worked great, you know.
Yeah. Well,
He's probably the harshest critic I've got as well.
here, my brother's the hardest critic that I have. And it's so funny to hear him whenever he talks to me about watching the videos. But hey, listen, he says I should take some acting lessons to start off. But sometimes that's I think it, for me, my goal for this year was to become comfortable in front of the camera. So that's overall, I don't mind that I make mistakes or that I might come across a little bit forced at times, but my goal is to eventually be totally comfortable, as if I were talking to someone across the table in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at the camera, and sometimes some days are easier than others, but I do have a little bit more experience now after that time. So
Yeah. I understand what you mean. Again, on the fourth when video, the bit where I'm just walking through the bushes and it's really tight and you've got it left and right. Is I didn't have to put that part in, but I just thought, you know what, these things happen, you know.
Yeah.
And I know it was an uncomfortable moment. I felt a bit, oh, I'm going down, but it just adds to it. I think adding that character, and if you do make mistakes on the camera, but you make a bit of a laugh and a joke about it, or really point it out as part of the video, it can add to the whole experience.
Yeah. I think I would have been disappointed if it hadn't have been there, because it at least gave me the idea. Yeah, well, it just hasn't been a simple walk in the park here to get to the spot.
Never is.
So that was pretty good. We'll pop back to the chat for 1 second.
Yeah,
and see,
sure. See what we've got. Yeah,
and see what people are saying. Okay, Jess says, I'm pretty comfortable on both sides of the camera. Yeah, you certainly come across like that in the stuff that I see. Yeah, that's one thing that I would like people to point out whenever they're commenting on my own videos, is if they think it's been comfortable or not whenever they are using it. A lot of people did start talking about the different color correction. So you are a Premiere Pro user then, Matthew?
I am. Yeah, only for like I said, the last few videos. The ones where I started going to Anglesey, I think that's about 3 or 4 videos ago. That was the first time I used Premiere Pro. So what I did for that is use the scheduling tool in YouTube to make sure I've got about 3 or 4 weeks planned. Yeah. So then I can go away, learn Premiere Pro, and bring it back up to the same standard that I feel that I'm performing at the moment.
Yeah.
So it was a difficult transition, but it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Final Cut Pro guy, and that's just more based on me thinking that would be the easier of the two to learn. Even though I'm familiar with Lightroom because I was into photography beforehand as a hobby, so I do understand that. But I just kind of like the fact that I use Adobe Audition too, because I up until very recently had a podcast that would go out in iTunes for a different piece of work. So, but I really am enjoying Final Cut. Now, Peter McKinnon will be very good for you because he's a Premiere Pro guy, and I guess it's just getting a few of those guys that are really good and do what you do, and then you can follow all of their tutorials.
Exactly, and that's what I do. Like I say, I use Peter McKinnon's videos quite a lot because he always puts different effects in each video. So I can go, oh yeah, I like that effect. I wonder how he did it. YouTube, how do you do this? How do you do that? And a lot of the time, he actually shows people how to do different effects that he uses on his video as well.
Yes, and he, I mean, I have only ever purchased one set of LUTs, and they were Peter McKinnon's.
Right, I didn't know he had a set, so that's probably worth.
He has a set for sale. very, very minimal cost, and they work on both Premiere Pro and Final Cut.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
I've learned a lot already.
Hey. I didn't ask him that when I was talking to him. I actually talked to him a lot about when I met him this year actually. It was very good because I had recently just started to watch his stuff, and I was able to make reference to some of his last videos, and then I watched the actual video of him traveling to Ireland for the conference, so I was able to make reference to that right away, and immediately go and say to him, hey, you made it. Did your case arrive okay? So he was great, and he was so down there. And actually, I mean, I'm obviously older than yourself, but he came across to me as, when I think of the definition of a hipster, I think that's it.
The guy.
Yeah. he's got beard, he's got the tattoos, he's that thin, skinny jeans on, exactly. Cool customer, likes his deluxe coffee.
When he went to Africa as well, and still the exact same kit, not any like outdoor gear or anything like that. Still skinny jeans, trainers, cap. That's the guy.
Very good, very good. Well, listen, he just hit 1 million subscribers, so that was really, really good. So, as someone has said here, I never get in front of the camera. I must get in front of the camera. Drone Nut says, yeah. Daniel, hi, how are you too? Thomas says, you come across very natural on the camera, Patrick. It's like chatting to your friends. Well, Thomas, that's very nice of you. That means an awful lot, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I even considered once, I use this little bad boy here for the moment when I'm out and about, which is the Canon G7X Mark II. I even considered putting, these little eyes that you get on teddy bears and stuff.
Googly eyes.
Yeah, well, the little ones that you can buy in craft shop. I was actually going to put one at each side so that it looks like I'm actually looking at a person, and this would be his nose. Why do I say that? Because now I'm name dropping here. I actually met Ben Brown also, and he was at the conference last year, and he said, I actually had just got this recently, and he said to me, I tend to look at the screen. So, and he says, then you tend to get a little bit cross-eyed because you're looking directly into it. And Casey Neistat will often say that's why he wears dark sunglasses, so that he can look at the screen and people won't know. The only thing that I feel is that, damn it, now none of us can wear dark sunglasses, or everybody's going to think you're trying to be like Casey Neistat.
Exactly, yeah. But everybody needs their little thing. Peter McKinnon's got the coffee, Casey Neistat's got his glasses.
Yeah, but I want to wear glasses too. I have nice Ray-Ban, I want to wear them. And no, I can't, because then people say, look at you trying to be all Casey Neistat on it. And one of the, only recently too, somebody commented on one of my videos saying, yeah, I liked your video, but a wee bit too Casey Neistat-y.
That's a thing now, is it?
But what can you do? So I can't wear the dark. Well, listen, I don't really care. I'll wear them whenever I want to. But it's definitely his trademark. And
it is.
But hey, that's me going on a bit. Okay, listen. Shout out to need free editing software. Okay. Paddy has the cap. Yeah, Paddy. That's the real Irish. Drone Nut calls me Paddy. Patrick. Pat. I get everything. I have the cap. That's more to hide the grey hair, I think. I know. No, it's. I guess I just like wearing caps. That's probably the reason why. And I had to change it. I have a green one a New York one that I use when I'm out and about, but I can't wear it with this because of the green screen interferes with it. But listen. Okay, well, you use that, and you've mentioned some of the guys that give inspiration to you, Matthew, the likes of Casey, the likes of Peter McKinnon. Again, they're guys. Have you heard of the likes of Ben Brown?
I've heard of him, but I've not actually watched too much of the content.
He took a bit of a sabbatical there a year or two ago when he was
Yeah.
in and around the 500,000 mark of subscribers, but I think he's back at it recently. He's an English fellow, but I think he lives in South Africa with his now wife, then girlfriend.
Right.
Anyone else that you use for inspiration?
There was another young gentleman similar to myself, Billy Kyle. He's in America. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube videos, but
No, but I'll check them.
it was very information based, and that's what gave me the idea of I like locations, and I thought, what else can I give? So it was kind of a mismatch of everybody that I like, bring it together. What can I make unique? And like I say, and Billy was probably one of the. Billy Kyle is YouTube if anybody wants to search for it.
Okay, yeah.
But he was probably one of the key guys that helped me to persuade me in a particular direction. Anyway,
Brilliant. Matthew, we probably ran out of time. It's 10:15. There was a lot of other things that I would have liked to have chatted with you, but I'm very conscious of people's time that they've given their ear to, and we've had up to 12 or 15 people watching us. And hey, if there was 12 or 15 people sitting in that living room of yours, you'd be very happy to
indeed
chat with them for that amount of time. So I see there's Ken Heron is also mentioned. He's an American guy, and he's built up his subscribership quite well too. I would follow him also. So listen, Matthew, first of all, to yourself, thank you very much for being, I don't want to say the guinea pig in all of this, but in a certain sense you have been, while I've been farting about trying to get this set up correct. So I appreciate
no
you
problem.
taking the time
Thank
out
you.
to do that with me. I will try and work out a way, either I might send you this footage also through a Dropbox link, and then as long as you put a different intro to it and a different outro, you'll be able to upload it also onto YouTube.
Great.
And then
I'll do that.
connect in the channels, and likewise mine will go either live now as it is, or I might edit, but there wasn't really much to take out. I think everything was fine except for the little blip at the beginning, so I might just leave it as it was.
Okay.
Guys, to everyone else, Daniel and Jay and Tim and JB's Adventures and MB Walter TV and Mike, yes, all of you guys who have been there, and David who joined midway through too, and Mind Life. Listen, thank you everyone for joining in, and sorry about all the technical hiccups at the beginning, and hopefully we will better that as we're going along. And if you haven't subscribed to Matthew's channel, please do. If you haven't subscribed to mine, please do. And I have some exciting videos coming out, as it sounds also that Matthew has. So
Every Friday.
Yeah.
Every Friday, 12 o'clock. That's me.
Okay, well, listen, I didn't even get a chance to ask you, did you want to ask me any questions? But you can ask it in the chat the next time we're videoing.
Yeah, but I'll probably be joining in the next few live chats anyway. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Matthew. And thank you everyone who has joined in, and we will catch you again. Bye-bye.
All right. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.